That's obviously Josh Allen, the cover boy of Madden 24. First time a Buffalo Bill has ever been on the cover of the Madden video game series. I do wonder, Josh talked back in April when we met with him on, when the conditioning started, and he said, I'm more focused on football and more locked in on football than ever before. I think this gets you more there, right? When you become the cover person on Madden, you're like, I got to outperform even more. I have to basically, do even better and do even more, justify it. That'd be so. I'm hoping. I think that'd be pretty cool. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, I think that kind of lights a fire under you. We don't talk a lot about video games here, but we have the last 24 hours or so since we learned, or 48 hours, whatever, that we learned that Josh Allen's going to be on the cover of Madden, and it's a really incredible industry. And a lot of you play these games. You played these games for quite a long time. My son is 9. He plays the games. I played a lot of video games when I was younger. I don't as much anymore. I watch him, though. I think it's amazing, some of the graphics they have. And we got a guy here in Buffalo who is really inside the video game industry. And his name is Mike Straw. And he's going to join me in the Wester Hotline right now. He's Mike Straw Media on Twitter, and he's with Insider Gaming IG. And Mike, first of all, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's been a while since we've chatted, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too, Sal. Thanks for having me. It has been a while. I'm happy to be here now.
I would say, Mike, actually, we saw each other in the Sabres press box back years and years ago. When I had come back to Buffalo, you were kind of getting into media, and now you're in the video game world. How did that happen? How did you get to be in this space where you're writing about and covering the video game industry?
It's weird. So obviously, yeah, started out cutting my teeth covering the NHL and the Sabres, but an opportunity presented itself with an outlet years ago that just gave me the interest in covering something I've always been passionate about in on top of sports. And it kind of just snowballed from there, where I just met more people, got more opportunity. And to be honest, I'm having more fun writing now than I did years ago. So,
Mike, I think where we've gone from some of the graphics to where we are now, sometimes I think to myself, what's it going to look like 20 years from now, right? It's going to be pretty incredible, and it is every single day what they're doing in the technology they have with some of these video games.
Yeah, the technology, it's weird. Over the last 20 years, we've seen these major improvements, but we're hitting this weird point where there's only so far you can go with what's here, and now it's all the little things like facial expressions, things like sweat on the jerseys, weather on the jerseys, the way rain looks. So we're getting to the point where there always used to be the joke of wow, it's like watching on TV. We're close. We're as close as we've ever been to truly emulating what you see in football, what you see on Sundays.
Yeah, and it's not just football; it's all these other ones. I know Max plays MLB The Show. It's unbelievable, the way that they can replicate these stadiums, Mike. Right, and the different things they can do, all the nuance that goes into it, and of course, there's all the different actions you can have in the video games as well. But that's what stands out to me. It's not just the players; it's everything that's surrounding the game, where you can play, how you can treat the weather, down to the most minuscule thing you could think of.
Yeah, and MLB The Show is a good example. I know Sony San Diego has been working on a lot of things to bring the environment out, and one of the things that they've been working on lately is getting fans to be noticed, I guess you could say. In New York, they've been working on trying to get all the fans in right field who wear the Aaron Judge, the Judge wigs. They're working on all of this type of thing just to really build that immersion. And to even say 10 years ago this is where we'd be, it's been absolutely phenomenal to see.
Let's talk about Josh Allen on the cover of Madden 24. To your knowledge, you're someone who would know much more than me or a lot of people listening. How does that process work? And then I saw that they were doing some things with him with the graphics, so he had to know for a while, right? This kind of thing had to be in the works for quite a while. It was just one day they called Josh last week and said, you're on the cover of Madden, right?
No, usually, from what I know, this decision was made back in about April. They locked in. It was between Allen, Jefferson, and Minnesota. Those were kind of the two front runners, but the decision was made around draft time that it was going to be that's when it started to trickle out that Josh Allen was going to be the cover. As far as the actual decision internally, these things are talked about right about the end of the season is when they really start to sit down and hammer out based on performers and popularity. They'll look at things like jersey sales. They'll look at things just like marketing, how popular a player is on social media, and that's kind of a lot that goes into it. That's why over the past few years you see Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady be on the cover multiple times, because they're two of the most talked about athletes. So it really goes on what they think will draw up the general.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's also why you've had some backlash from other teams' fans, right? The jealousy or just to want to troll or whatever to say, "Ooh, Josh has never won a Super Bowl. Why is he on the cover?" It's not about winning. There's been a lot of people on the cover who've never won a Super Bowl, a Lombardi. It can happen. They've also had people that have won it, but it's not about that. It's about how they resonate with the fan base.
Exactly. I mean, 2012, Peyton Hillis was the cover athlete.
Yeah.
Because he won a fan vote. But it was still how they resonated with the fan base. His season prior to that was incredible, so they put him on the cover. So yeah, it's all about popularity. It has nothing to do with winning anymore. It kind of used to be that way. They would look at players from the best teams or a team that won a Super Bowl or was at a Super Bowl. But now, yeah, it's about what they'll see when someone like a kid, a 9-year-old, 8-year-old goes to the store and they see on the shelf still, or they see in the digital store a player. Oh, I know that player. That player's popular. This must be the new game. Let me get it. That's what a lot of it goes into it with the marketing.
Let me ask you about a couple tweets you had yesterday regarding the cover. Number one, you said the cover that people will see at stores and on shelves isn't going to be the one with the fans. All right, explain what you mean by that and why is that?
So the one with the fans is the Madden 24 Deluxe Edition. It comes with extra bonus features for those who pre-order. It's mostly available on digital storefronts, so that's the featured image you'll see. They do release them to stores, but there's not going to be as many. So you'll see it likely the first couple months that the game's out, but as you get more into the season, if you're walking through a store, you're going to see the standard edition, which is just the game, without any extra bonuses for people who play like Madden Ultimate Team, their collectible card game mode and things like that.
Okay, so but the cover that Josh Allen will have, it's the one that he's holding the jersey and his head's down a little bit, right? That's the one that most people are going to see
Yes.
and get. Okay.
Yes.
You also wrote, for the first time, Madden on PC will have full feature parity with PS5 and Xbox Series XS. Okay, Mike, this is totally foreign language to me. What do you mean by this?
So for the past few years, since those new PlayStation, Xbox consoles came out, they've been getting features that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One didn't have. So player animations, franchise mode updates, and just how the game looks. PC has been thrown in for the last few years with the older systems. This will be the first year that they get the actual features that people on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will get, which is something fans in the fans everywhere of Madden have been wanting, because the PC industry just continues to grow and they kind of felt they were left behind. So EA took that and they finally realized, no, there's a market here, so let's give them all the features that the console players will have.
Mike Straw joining me on the Wester Hotline. You can find him on Twitter at Mike Straw Media. Okay, maybe I'm way off base. I thought I heard over the last, maybe several months that like Madden needed to step up their game a little bit in some ways, right? There's some things that they needed to do a little bit differently. I don't know. Is that true? Has there been some sort of feeling that they are lacking behind in anything?
So, yeah, the biggest thing is, and it was actually a story I had put up on Insider Gaming earlier this year. Last year, it had nothing to do with sales. It was the public response. There were a lot of bugs with the game, a lot of people losing franchise modes to the point where they had to offer people who lost their franchise mode because of issues they created. They're getting the game 50% off this year if your franchise mode was corrupted or lost due to EA's negligence, I guess is the best word I can put it. So this year has been turned into, with the higher ups at EA, a somewhat of a make or break year for those on the executive team within the game itself in the studio down in Florida, to where they have to produce. And it's not really on sales. It's because the game's going to sell no matter what. It's the only NFL option, and people want their NFL football. But they have to produce on the quality of the game, the stability of the game, and making sure that once players are in the game, they don't have any problems with how it plays, how it runs, and their data. Because the last thing anybody wants is to spend hours upon hours, like 30, 40, 50 hours of game, only for to wake up one day and go, oh, sorry, we lost everything. You got to start over. And that was the biggest problem last year. That led to this year being really, truly a do or die scenario for a lot of the people, a lot of the decision makers on the Madden team.
Is there any competition for Madden, for EA, and like this particular game? There's other gaming systems and games out there. Is this it, though? Nobody goes anywhere else for this type of thing, right?
So for simulation football, what they view as simulation football, no. They just extended their exclusive license for another 5 years with the NFL. However, 2K Sports is releasing an arcade simcade kind of game with the NFL that they announced a couple years ago. It was supposed to come out last year. It's been pushed back. It's likely not to come out this year. So they're looking at probably 2024. So there's some other things. There's a lot of like independent games that people who are more talented than me mod and put NFL teams and players in. But as far as like if you want a modern current NFL product, you're with EA or you get nothing.
Right. What about dates? I don't know if I saw. Maybe it's already been out there. When is the Josh Allen cover edition of Madden 24 going to be available? Whether it's in deluxe or the people who have to go to a store or download it or whatever.
So global release or North American release is August 18th. If you pre-order the deluxe edition, which is one of the benefits of it, you get access to it August 15th. You'll get it 3 days early, but they also do have a beta starting today for people who were able to register. And then they'll have a free trial of the game, usually about a week before. So August 11th, August 12th, they'll have a 10-hour free trial that people can pay. If people are members of EA's EA Play service, they'll be able to sign up for and access.
Mike, what's the largest, most popular played, I guess, video game right now? And it could be sports or anything. I mean, Fortnite, Call of Duty, whatever. What's the thing right now everybody's playing?
It's Fortnite. Fortnite is 100% the most popular game. Sports-wise, you're looking at FIFA. FIFA will forever go down because of its global reach as the most popular sports game out there. Followed by NBA. NBA has kind of surpassed Madden.
Well, I was going to ask you, is in FIFA, again, and I apologize, I sound very ignorant about these things because I am. I don't know. Like in FIFA, is it simulation like the NFL with the players like that? And then what happens with a guy like Messi, and he comes over to Inter Miami and things like that?
Yeah, it's 100% simulation, and when he comes over, they will update the rosters and do what they can, and he'll be on. There's a good chance when people load up this year, they're no longer associated with FIFA EA and FIFA separated, so now it's EA Sports FC. When it launches this year, there's a good chance that Messi will be on the starting roster of Inter Miami as long as everything's finalized by then. But that's usually what they got to wait for.
You're telling me NBA is more popular than Madden right now?
As far as the video game industry, yeah, because it's a far less buggy experience, and it's a lot deeper of an experience for the past few years.
I like it. It's interesting. And then NHL, where's NHL stand in all this? I remember NHL 93 or NHL 94. We'd play all the time in college. It was great. Brett Hull one-timers all over the place, right? It was really cool. And I know, like I said, Max, he plays a lot of it. He plays the NHL games, likes to play with the Sabres. Where's that right now, and how popular is the NHL space?
In Canada, it's huge. In our region, it sells like wildfire. For the most part, though, it's behind what you'd expect it to be behind. It's behind FIFA, Madden, NBA. It's got its niche audience, but a lot of it was due to EA losing trust of the fans years ago, back in 2015, where they released a very empty product. So now they're starting to build that trust and goodwill back with the last few releases. So they're on the upswing, but it's got a ways to go to be as popular as it was, say, in like 2004, 2005.
All right, Mike. Well, good stuff. I learn a lot every time I talk to you, man, because like I said, I used to play video games when I was younger, and I never really got into all the stuff a lot of people are, but I think it's fascinating, the industry and where it's going. I mean, as you know better than anyone, I mean, people now are getting scholarships to go to college to play in these, on EA and on, what do you want to call it? On sports, esports, right? Esports. Actually, there's esports camps. We signed Max up for an esports camp coming up this summer. It's incredibly popular, and it's becoming something that people are making a living off of.
Yeah, it's incredible to see. And like my alma mater, my high school alma mater, Bishop Timon, they opened last year an esports lab.
Wow.
To start coaching people for esports teams, because this is actually what colleges are getting into, and it's working. People are interested in it. So, and universities and schools are going to grasp onto these things, and that's today. So, Max getting into it now, is great for the future because that opens up another avenue.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hey, the more you can do, right? Mike, thanks a lot. Tell everybody where they can find your stuff and what you're writing about.
Yeah, you can find me at Mike Star Media on Twitter. Insider-gaming.com is where I'm at for all of my gaming news. This week, it's a big week in gaming with a bunch of conferences from Xbox, Bethesda, one of the big publishers, and things like that. So all of the coverage, everything there, all the announcements will right be on Insider Gaming.
Mike, thanks a lot. Good to talk to you again, buddy. We appreciate you joining me.
You too, Sal. Thanks so much.
Okay, that is Mike Straw and Insider Gaming. Good stuff.